Hello children, welcome back to the digital class. I hope you are all doing well and you might all be excited to learn some new and interesting concepts in our today's mathematics session. So children, let us start our session. So today we are going to discuss about ratio and proportion. So children, by the end of this session you will be learning ratio, proportion, and also you will learn about compound ratio. So let us start our session children. So first let us see what actually comparing quantities are. So here we can compare any two quantities in two ways children. One is by subtraction, the other way is division. See Mr. Ram here and also Sita. Ram has 13 books and Sita has 4 books. Now what is the difference in their number of books children? That is 13 minus 4 equal to 9, which means I can say Ram has 9 books more than Sita, isn't it children? So this is how we compare two quantities by subtraction. But children, it is not necessary that we always compare any two quantities using subtraction. So let us see how to compare two quantities using division also. Let us take an example children now. So comparing quantities by division. Now take a look at this girl. She is on a bicycle, isn't it children? And this is a bike. Yes. Let's see the cost of these vehicles children. That is, the cost of bicycle is 10,000 rupees. Whereas the cost of bike is 1,50,000 rupees. Now children, I'll just find out cost of bike divided by the cost of bicycle. That means 1,50,000 divided by 10,000. So children, on simplifying we get 15 by 1. Okay. So by cancelling with the common factor, we get 15 by 1. That means I can say that cost of bike is 15 times more than the cost of bicycle. So children, this is the way we compare two quantities by division. And this comparing two quantities using division is called ratio. So children, now you understood what is meant by ratio? Yes. Comparing any two quantities using division, we call it as ratio. Let us take an example to understand much better children. So here you can see a cheetah and the speed of cheetah is 120 kilometers per hour. It runs very fast, isn't it children? 120 kilometers in 1 hour. Now let us take another one here. Yes, it's a tortoise. And the speed of tortoise is 360 kilometers per hour. Now can we compare these two quantities children? No. Why we cannot compare these two quantities? The reason is both are in different units. If you notice, the speed of cheetah is 120 kilometers per hour, whereas the speed of tortoise is 360 meters per hour. So since these two are different units, we cannot compare them. That means we can compare two quantities only if they are in the same units children. You cannot compare any two quantities like that. You need to always see that they are in the same units. Then only you can compare them. I hope you understood this point children. Let us move on to our next thing children. Let us see what actually the ratio is. If A and B are any two quantities, then the ratio is written as A colon B and we read it as A is to B. That means here if you notice children, the colon, this colon symbol represents ratio. Got it children? Now consider A is to B children here. Now in this ratio A is to B, these two A and B are called terms of the ratio. So here the two quantities A and B, they are called terms of the ratio. And if you consider A is to B in this, that is A is called the first term or antecedent, whereas the second one B is called the second term or we call it as consequent. So A is first term or antecedent, B is the second term or consequent. And also children, It's very important to note that the ratio A is to B is written as A divided by B. That means, let us take few examples children here. I can write 3:5 as 3 by 5. Whereas 11:4, I can write it as 11 by 4. So, here in this ratio 3 is antecedent and 5 is consequent. Similarly, in this ratio 11:4, 11 is the antecedent and 4 is the consequent. Got it children? Now children, let us compare the quantities with different units also. So, we can compare different units also, but on converting them into same units. Let us see how to compare the speeds of both cheetah and tortoise. So, we know that 1 kilometer is 1000 meters. So, here it is in kilometers per hour and this is in meters per hour. So, what we do is, I will convert this kilometers per hour to meters per hour. Then both will become same units and then we can find the ratio. Got it children? Now, for that I am taking 1 kilometer as 1000 meters. So, like that, what will be the speed of cheetah now? Yes, 120 into 1000 meters per hour, which on multiplication you get it as 1,20,000 meters per hour, and speed of tortoise remains the same, that is 360 meters per hour. Now, let us find the ratio of speed of cheetah by speed of tortoise, that is 1,20,000 divided by 360. Now, let us write it as ratio children. So, ratio of speed is 1,20,000 is to 360. Now, let us move on to our next concept children. So, I want you to try this children when antecedent and consequent are given to you, how to write the ratio. So, here you have given number of apples here and here the number of oranges and you need to write the ratio. So, children, how many apples are there here? Yes, we have 5 apples. So, antecedent is 5. And what about consequent? Yes, we have 4 oranges. That means consequent is 4. So, what will be the ratio? Yes, you are right. It is 5:4. Now, take a look at this also now. So, there are some pens and erasers. Now, how many pens are there? Yes, you have 7 pens. And how many erasers are there? 3 erasers. That means 3 is consequent and 7 is the antecedent. Now, what is the ratio children? Absolutely right. That is 7:3. Let us move on to our final question children. So, you are given some dice here and also some coins. So, how many dice are there children here? 10. That means antecedent is 10. Now, how many coins are there? 5. Consequent is 5. Now, the ratio will be 10:5. So, children, I hope you understood how to write the ratio. Okay, children. So, let us take an example children here as shown on your screen. Vijay has 9 mangoes and 12 oranges. Find the ratio of number of mangoes to the number of oranges. So, first let us write what is given to us children. So, it is very important. First analyze the question, read it once, twice, understand the problem and then write down what is given to you. So, your number of mangoes are 9 with Vijay. Oranges Vijay has? Yes, 12. Now, let us find the ratio of mangoes to the oranges, that is 9:12. So, this can be written as 9/12. We have seen already, right children? A:1 is written as A by B. Now, children, do you find anything common in these two, that is 9 and 12? Yes, we find something common here. What is that? Yes, it is 3. So, and we write it as 3 in the numerator divided by 3 in the denominator. Now, what is the common factor here? 3, right? So, we will cancel 3 one times in both denominator and numerator, and what is left? We are left with only 3/4. Now, if you notice, the ratio is now 3:4. Now, in this 3/4, I call it as the simplest form. But why do we call it as simplest form? Because if you notice 3 and 4, there is no common factor other than 1. So, such fraction is said to be in simplest form. And here if you convert this into ratio, that is 3:4, this is said to be in the simplest form. So, the ratio is also in the simplest form. Okay, children. So, children, let us see about same ratio in different situation. Let us take an example, children. So, consider a writing pad. The length of the writing pad is 30 centimeters, whereas the breadth is 20 centimeters. Now, let us find the value of L is to B, children, which is 30 is to 20. Now, let us simplify this, children. So, I can write 30 is to 20 as 30 by 20. Now, here I am cancelling with 10. Okay. So, here 10 goes in 22 times, whereas in 30 it goes 3 times, and we get 3 by 2. So, I can write L is to B as 3 is to 2. Hence, I can say that ratio of length of writing pad to its breadth is 3 is to 2. Got it, children? Now, let us take another example, children. So, there is a big basket which consists of 9 kg of rice and 6 kg of pulses. Now, let us find out the ratio of rice to that of pulses. So, since we have rice first, so that becomes antecedent, and pulses next, so that will become consequent. So, we get 9 is to 6. Now, 9 is to 6 can be written as 9 by 6, and again there is a common factor. So, I will cancel with 3. So, 3 goes 2 times in 6, whereas in 9 it goes 3 times, and we get 3 by 2. That means, the ratio of rice to that of pulses is 3 is to 2. So, children, what do you notice from these two examples? Yes, we have seen that 30 is to 20 is 3 is to 2, and even 9 is to 6 is also 3 is to 2. Now, here these two ratios are said to be equivalent ratios. That is 30 is to 20 is equal to 9 is to 6, that is equal to 3 is to 2. So, we call it as equivalent ratios, children. So, children, we have seen what actually a ratio is, and we have solved some examples also, isn't it, children? Now, let us understand the concept of proportion. So, take a look at your screen, children. So, children, consider a rectangular object which is divided into 4 equal number of parts, and I will color 2 of its equal parts. Now, children, do you know what is the fraction formed here? Yes, that is right. It is 2 by 4. Now, children, I am going to consider the same rectangle, but now I have divided this into, see, how many equal parts? Yes, 8 equal parts. Now, out of 8 equal parts, I am coloring 4 equal parts. Now, what is the fraction equivalent to this, children? You are right once again, children, it is 4 by 8, because 4 are colored out of 8. So, it is 4 by 8. So, children, now let us see what actually we have done in the both examples. So, we have got 2 by 4 and 4 by 8. Now, this fraction 2 by 4 can be written as 2 is to 4, and what about 4 by 8, children? Yes, it is written as 4 is to 8. Now, we will simplify this 2 by 4, children. So, we get 1 by 2. Similarly, on simplifying 4 by 8, we get 1 by 2. Now, what did you notice, children? Yes, we see that both the ratios are equal here, isn't it, children? That is 2 is to 4 and 4 is to 8 are equal. That is equal to 1 is to 2, isn't it, children? Now, so children, let us conclude from the above example. The simplest form of 2 is to 4 is 1 is to 2. Similarly, the simplest form of 4 is to 8 is 1 is to 2. And we have seen this 2 is to 4 and 4 is to 8, they are, yes, equal ratios, isn't it, children? And these are said to be in proportion. That means, I can say that 2 is to 4 is equal to 4 is to 8, which means that equality of two ratios is called proportion. So, since here two ratios are equal, we say these quantities are in proportion. That means, I can say 2, 4, 4 and 8 are in proportion. And children, it is very important to note that the order is very important here. Here 2, 4, 4, 8 are said to be in proportion. You cannot change the order of these numbers. I hope you understood, children. Now, let us understand what exactly proportion means. If two ratios A is to B and C is to D are equal, that is, I can write A is to B equal to C is to D. Then A, B, C and D are said to be in proportion. That means, we represent it as A is to B is as C is to D. Okay, children. And how do we read this one? A is to B, C is to B. We read it as A is to B is as C is to D. Now, here we have seen already 2, 4, 4 and 8 are in proportion, isn't it, children? Take a look at 2 and 4. Now, let us multiply these two numbers, children. So, what do you get? Yes, you get 16. Now, let us consider the two numbers which are in the middle, that is 4 and 4, and we will multiply them also. Now, what do you get on multiplying these two? Yes, again you get 16. That means I can write 4 into 4 is equal to 2 into 8. Now, let us take another example also, children. I take 5 is to 6 equal to 10 is to 12. Now, here these are also in proportion, isn't it, children? Now, we will multiply the first one and the last one, children, that is 5 and 12. How much you get? 60. Now, let us multiply the middle one also, that is 6 and 10, you get even 60. I can write 5 into 12 is equal to 6 into 10. Now, this is true for any two ratios which are equal, or this is true if the numbers, if four numbers are in proportion. Got it, children? You take any four numbers which are in proportion and you can verify this property. So, here A is to B is equal to C is to D. I can write A by B is equal to C by D, isn't it, children? A is to B means A by B, C is to D means C by D. Now, on cross multiplication, here on cross multiplying this, I get A into D is equal to B into C. Here B and C, these terms are called means, whereas A and D are called extremes. So, if you notice here A into D is product of extremes and B into C is product of means. So, I can write product of means is always equal to product of extremes whenever the quantities are in proportion. Got it, children? So, children, we have learnt what actually a ratio is, and also we have seen what is proportion, and also we have seen few examples also. So, let us move on to our next concept, children, that is compound ratio. So, sometimes we need to express two ratios as a single ratio. So, that is what we call it as a compound ratio. Now, let us try to understand the concept, children. So, consider here two gentlemen, Mr. Ram and Shyam. So, Ram has invested 4,000 rupees per month for 10 months and Shyam invested 3,000 rupees per month for 12 months. So, how do they share their profits? Let us find out, children. So, here if we consider Ram's investment to Shyam's investment per month, it is 4,000 is to 3,000. So, I can write this as 4,000 divided by 3,000, which on simplification you get it as 4 by 3. Similarly, Ram's investment to Shyam's investment, that is 4 is to 3 we got. So, let us find out the ratio of their time periods now. So, Ram has invested for 10 months, whereas Shyam invested for 12 months. So, there is a common factor of 2, right? So, I can cancel this with 2 and this with 2. So, I get 5 is to 6 as the simplest form. So, let us see how much is the investment they have done in the complete year. So, if you notice, investment in the year from Ram's side, it is 10 months, each month is 4,000. So, total he has invested 40,000 rupees in that year. Okay, children. Now, whereas if you consider Shyam's, he has invested for 12 months, but only 3,000 per month. So, that means 12 into 3, 36,000 is the amount invested by Shyam. Now, let us see Ram's share is to Shyam's share, that is 40,000 is to 36,000. This on simplification completely you get it as 20 is to 18, or it can be further simplified, okay, but we are leaving it at 20 is to 18. Let us see why. So, Ramu's share to Shyam's share is 20 is to 18. So, children, Ram's investment to Shyam's investment is 4 is to 3, whereas the ratio of their time periods is 5 is to 6, and Ram's profit and Shyam's profit should be shared as per their investments, children. So, Ram's profit is to Shyam's profit is equal to 20 is to 18. So, that means this 20 is to 18 I can write it as 4 into 5, which is equal to 20 is to 18 can be written as 3 into 6. So, which we are going to get back again 20 is to 18. If you notice this 20 is to 18, this is called as the compound ratio of 4 is to 3 and 5 is to 6. Got it, children? Or let us understand more clearly this one, children. So, 20 is to 18 is, I am writing it as 4 into 5 is to 3 into 6. And the ratio is 4 is to 3 and 5 is to 6. Now, here if you notice these 4 and 5 in these two ratios, they are called, yes, we have seen already, they are antecedents. And what about 3 and 6? Yes, they are consequents. So, here product of antecedents to, I can write product of, yes, consequence. 4 into 5. 4 into 5 means these two are antecedents. So, we have multiplied antecedents. And here we are multiplying 3 and 6, which are consequence. So, always when we are finding compound ratio of two ratios, we need to just, so we write product of antecedents is to, yes, product of consequence. This is how we find out the compound ratio of two ratios. So, children, let us see what actually a compound ratio is. So, if A is to B and C is to D are any two ratios, then their compound ratio is given by AC is to BD. So, AC is to BD can be written as AC by BD, which in turn can be written as A by B into C by D. So, here A by B is nothing but A is to B, children, isn't it? And C by D is nothing but C is to D. So, let us take an example. The compound ratio of 3 is to 5 and 7 is to 8. Let us find out this. So, A is to B. So, your first ratio is A is to B. So, 3 is to 5, I am writing it as 3 by 5 into second ratio is 7 is to 8. So, I will write it as 7 by 8. So, this on multiplication we get 21 by 40, which is nothing but 21 is to 40. So, this is the compound ratio of 3 is to 5 and 7 is to 8. So, children, till now we have learnt about ratio, proportion, and also we have learnt about compound ratio. Now, children, let us apply these concepts in solving few examples. Let us start with our first example, children. If the compound ratio of 8 is to 5 and 3 is to 4 is x is to 80, then find the value of x. So, children, what is given to us? Now, these are the two ratios. The compound ratio of these two is x is to 80. So, first we need to find compound ratio of these two, and whatever we get, we need to equate that compound ratio with x is to 80 and find the value of x. Got it, children? So, now first let us see how to find compound ratio. We have already seen if A is to B and C is to D are any two ratios, their compound ratio is given by AC is to BD. So, compound ratio of 8 is to 5 and 3 is to 4 will be how much, children? Yes, product of antecedents, right? 8 into 3 and product of consequence 5 into 4. Now, multiplying this, what do you get? 24 is to 20. So, it is already given that the compound ratio of these two ratios is x is to 80. Now, what we will do? Yes, we need to equate 24 is to 20 with x is to 80. Now, here what do you get, children? 24 is to 20 is x is to 80. That is, two ratios are equal. That means they are in proportion. So, since they are in proportion, what can we write, children? Yes, product of means equal to product of extremes. So, that means I can write 20 into x must be equal to 24 into 80. Right, children? Now, let us find out the value of x. Now, what is value of x, children? Yes, 24 into 80 divided by, yes, 20. Now, here we have something common in this, right, children? This 80 and 20. So, I can cancel with that common factor. So, 20 goes in 21 time, whereas in 80, 20 goes 4 times. Now, what is left, children? 24 into 4. What do you get? Yes, x is equal to 96. Hence, the value of x is 96, children. Let us move on to another example, children, now. A sum of 1,50,000 is divided in the ratio 3 is to 7 between Sita and Rita, respectively. Find their shares. So, again, children, read the question clearly and carefully and write down what is given to you first. So, first it is given that the sum of the money which is shared between Sita and Rita is 1,50,000. And what is the ratio? Yes, ratio of Sita and Rita share is 3 is to 7. Let us find out some of the terms of the ratio. So, here sum of the terms is how much, children? 3 plus 7 equal to, yes, 10. Now, we will find out first Sita's share. So, in this, Sita is to Rita. So, this is 3 parts out of the 10 parts are given to Sita, right, children? So, that becomes Sita's share. So, 3 by 10 into the total amount, that is 1,50,000. Now, let us simplify this, children. On simplifying this, we get 3 into, here 10 goes how many times? 15,000 times. So, 3 into 15,000, you will be getting 45,000. So, Sita's share is 45,000 rupees. Now, let us find out Rita's share, children. So, Rita's share is see Sita is to Rita. So, Rita is 7 parts out of 10. So, 7 by 10 into 1,50,000. Again, on simplifying we get 7 into 15,000, which gives us 1,05,000. Then Rita's share is now 1,05,000 rupees, children. So, children, you can do this problem in another way also, children. After getting Sita's share, just subtract this amount 45,000 from the total amount. Then you get Rita's share. So, you can do by that way also, children. Okay. Now, let us move on to our next problem, children. Find the ratio of the following: 25 grams to 2 kgs and 3 liters to 150 ml. Let us see the first one, children. So, we know that here both are in different units, right, children? 25 grams and 2 kgs. So, first we need to convert them into same units. So, for that we have already learned that 1 kg is 1000 grams. So, this 2 kgs will become how much, children? 2 into 1000. So, 2000 grams. Now, we have converted kgs into grams and already we have 25 grams. Now, it is easy for us to find the ratio because they are in the same units. So, 25 grams is to 2 kg will be 25 is to 2000. Now, this can be written as 25 by 2000. So, there is a common factor of 5. So, 5 times and 5 goes in this 400 times. Now, again 5 goes in 5 one time and in 400 it goes 80 times. So, how much you get, children? 1 by 80. That means the ratio becomes 1 is to 80. Got it, children? Let us move on to our second bit, that is 3 liters to 150 ml. So, here also if you notice, children, this part is in liters, whereas here this is in milliliters. Again, both are in different units. So, first we need to convert them into same units. And we know that 1 liter is 1000 ml. So, 3 liters becomes 3000 milliliters. Now, let us find out the ratio of 3 liters is to 250 ml. That is 3000 is to 150. So, I can write this as 3000 divided by 150. Again, let us cancel with the common term, that is 3. So, it goes 1000 times in 3000, whereas in this it goes 50 times. Now, again here 50 goes 20 times, whereas in 50 it goes only 1 time. So, what is left, children, now? 20 by 1. Hence, the ratio becomes 20 is to 1. So, children, I hope you have understood the concepts that are taught today, that is ratio, proportion and also compound ratio. Now, before we end, let us quickly recap what we have learned in our today's session. If A and B are two quantities, then the ratio is written as A colon B and we read it as A is to B. If two ratios A is to B and C is to D are equal, which means A is to B equal to C is to D, then A, B, C and D are said to be in proportion. If two ratios are in proportion, then product of means is always equal to the product of extremes. If A is to B and C is to D are any two ratios, then their compound ratio is given by AC is to BD. So, children, before we end, I would like to give you few problems based on the concept that we have learned in our today's session as an assignment. So, please complete the problems and show to your teacher. Let us see the first problem, children. The weight of a man is 54 kgs and the weight of a mobile is 200 grams. Find the ratio of man to that of the mobile. Second question is, find the compound ratio of 5 is to 8 and 12 is to 15. The third question is, if the compound ratio of 6 is to 7 and P is to 12 is 4 is to 7, find the value of P. Let us move on to our final question, children. 135 marbles are divided between Arvind and Gopal in the ratio 4 is to 5. Find the number of marbles they get. So, children, with this we have come to the end of our mathematics digital class. I hope you have learnt all the concepts clearly. So, we will meet in our next digital class. Until then, goodbye, take care and happy learning.